Over the last few days, we've been approached by a number of organisations with regard to coronavirus planning. Now, whilst every organisation is different, here are 3 or 4 tips for you to help you begin your coronavirus planning. First of all, work out how and where COVID-19 could do most harm to your business, because every organisation will be different. If you're a global organisation, the biggest impact might be about the inability to travel internationally. In another organisation, it could be supply chain issues, the inability to get parts into the organisation. For yet another organisation, it could be simply the inability to have the normal amount of people within the workforce to get the job done. So work out for your organisation which are the biggest risks and which would have the biggest impact on you. Having worked that out, secondly, put in place some measures beforehand to reduce the impact of those scenarios should they occur. So, simple example, if you need to have people working from home, make sure that you've put in place the means for them to do that ahead of time. Thirdly, think about communications planning. Who would you need to communicate as the coronavirus gets worse? What will you say to them? What are your messages? How will you communicate those messages? What channels will you use? And when will you communicate? Think through some triggers for communication. Pay particular attention to employees. Employees at this time are likely to be uncertain or even scared about what's going on, and they'll be asking themselves 2 questions about their leaders. Are they competent to guide us through this challenging situation? And do they really care about me and my family who might be affected by this situation? So through your communication, reassure them about that. So in summary, you need to address the issue as far as you can with some practical actions and steps to minimise likelihood and in particular to minimise impact. You also need to retain the trust of your stakeholders, and that's why it's important to, as well as addressing the practical problem, in parallel also to be communicating clearly, transparently, early, frequently, prolifically. If you do both of those things at the same time, then coronavirus is still going to be challenging, but you will minimise the impact on your business, its stakeholders, and the lives and livelihoods of those who are affected.